Recording. Okay. So today I wanted to talk to you guys in regards to market updates. Okay, so market updates, let me give me just a really quick second. Someone's asking me for the link. So hold on. And just so you guys know, it's always the same link that we use, so it doesn't change. Um, okay. So as I was saying, I wanted to go over market updates, especially right now, because, well, and always, I think it's always important to know, as a real estate agent, this is your tool. This is what you need to be doing on a daily basis, knowing what's happening in the market. It's so important. And then obviously standing out and talking about it so people can hear you and see you and know what's happening, because you don't know who you're going to be meeting with, or you don't know who's watching, especially your social media. You don't know any of those things. So, but just know that people are watching and they're going to reach out when it's their time. But you have to stay relevant and you have to stay consistent. I can't explain, I can't even, stress it enough how important it is. So a market update is crucial for realtors because it provides, it provides you with current market trends, pricing, inventory levels, and other factors that are going to, affect or help improve the real estate market. So this allows you to advise, your clients or your whoever's watching you, effectively. It helps, your clients make informed decisions, and it helps you stay competitive in your field. So providing market updates, helps realtors, anticipate shifts and identifies our opportunities, and helps you to adjust your strategies as well to best serve your clients. So I'm going to show you how I do it, because I do it super fast, super easy. You could do it the same way. You can, do it however you want to, but the goal is to do it fast and easy and make it simple. So I'm going to show my screen really quick. So obviously everybody's familiar with the MLS. This is what the MLS looks like. So you have to determine what you're looking for. What market update do you want to provide? You can do a 7-day, a 30-day. You can do one compare 2010 to now. You can do 2020 to now. You can do whatever you want to do. So you just have to decide what it is that, the update that you're trying to give to, your audience. So if you want to stay consistent, and let's just say you want to do a monthly market update, where even if you mail it to your, your sphere, you could do that, or your farm, or if you want to do a weekly one, you can do it, whichever way is best suited for you. So let me show you here. So if you're going to go here, search, and then again, you always want to compare apples to apples. So, if you're going to do residential, so search here, go into detail. So if you want to see what's, on the market, you're going to mark all of these, what's in escrow, what's closed. And then here is where you're going to determine your dates. So if you want to do, let's just say a month back. So let's say you want to do all of April. So you'll go back, and then you can select April 1st to April 30th. So it gets the whole month of what's closed. If you want to see what went pending in the same month, then you would do the same thing. So this would be all activity for April. So let me go ahead and mark all the activity for April. So it's basically the same thing, everything that came active in April, because remember, stuff could have come active today, or it could have came active in March or February. So you could have other properties that are still available, but they did not come active in April. So if you really want to know what's April, then put what's April. And then here, determine your property type. I don't like to leave this open, and the reason I don't is because obviously a condo, a townhouse, a manufactured home, is going to be different. So you don't want to compare a single family to a condo. So let's just say I want to tell a certain area, in Ontario, a single family. So you're going to put here single family residence. And then the city, you can put Ontario, or if you want, you could even put in a zip code. If you're trying to even narrow it down to, a specific area, you can do that too. You can always map it as well. If you want, you can use the good old map, because we already know, if you're familiar with Ontario, that Ontario Ranch, if I, just look at it by me putting my, my cursor on it, here's 1.1975, and you come up here and you're at a totally different price range. So you can definitely make sure if you really want to get, narrowed down, you can, or if you're just doing Ontario as a whole, just make sure you disclose that so that way they know what it is that you're doing. You can just leave it like this, just for a general overview of what it is. Or you could put anyone that's 3 bedroom, 2 baths. You can put certain square footages or, certain years built, whatever it is that you're trying to do. But typically when I do mine, I just do single family, the city, and then this is what I do for the time. So depending on the dates I'm looking for, and then what I'll do is I'll go down here to search or to results. And then once I hit results, there's quite a few. So there's 167. Then I'm gonna go down here where it says stats, and I'm gonna select stats, and then I'm gonna hit tabular. So when I hit this is gonna give me my market updates. So what I typically go for under closed is here. So there's been 69 properties that closed in the city of Ontario that were single family in the month of April. So I look here at average, always use average. And so this is average. So the average home listed for $745, $405 on the market average was 18 days, and close price is $750, 317. So obviously they got more than what they wanted. So if you looked at the next column, sold price versus list price, they got above 100% of what they were asking. The average person did. And the average home that sold was a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 7,200 square foot lot, and 1,820 square feet. So that's what that tells you. So if you're going to advertise it, make sure you give all the data so that way people understand what that looks like. And it's so interesting because if you do a year before, you'll be really surprised as to what the difference is, how it really makes a difference. And I'll even show that to you so that way you can see that. But that's what I do. And then here in coming soon and active, that's basically the same thing. So, because they're both active. So here you have 42 properties since April that came on the market in April, which is really not a lot of properties. If you think about it, it's not a lot. So, but you have 43 properties, and then pending status, which active under contract and pending status could be, looked as the same. So you have 56 properties that are, in pending status. So, and if you look at the average price already is 811 for active under contract and 730 under pending. So look at the difference there. But if you were to average those two, what does that tell us about next month? That this is going to be even higher. So what does that show you? Prices are not coming down. Sellers are getting what they're looking for. So this is a way for you to project and for you to be able to feel confident when you are door knocking, when you are calling, when you are doing videos, whatever you're talking about the market. This is what builds confidence, knowing data and knowing facts. Because if you have this information, someone can say, well, I'm waiting for the market to crash. And then at that point, you can show them the numbers and how you can project what's really happening out there. So I do highly suggest that you do this, especially if you're doing open houses, Know your numbers in the area, in the surrounding areas, because remember, your goal is to attract business while you're there. You're not there just to be a tour guide. You're there to provide value. You're there so that way you can show these buyers the difference between you and any other agent that's just sitting there handing them a flyer and only knows the data that's been printed on the flyer. So go beyond that. Okay, so that's so important. So I'm going to go back and show you, and it's always good, honestly, to go back and do this, so that way you can, like I said, you can provide the value. So that was in let's say 2024. So let's go back a year. So let's just say we're going to compare a year over year. So let's look over year of what that looked like, and then basically it's going to show us what so you can compare the two. And this is what I mean by doing, if you do this all the time, you're going to get so good at it that you're going to already know. And it makes it so much easier. So here I went back to 2003. Okay, so let's see. So here's, I mean, not 2003. Gosh, I wish. 2023. So if you look at 2023, you're basically only going to be able to look at what's closed, because obviously it's closed. But if you look, the average price a year ago, and I took a picture so that way I could tell you, the average price then was $745 a year ago. Days on market was 28 compared to 24, and close price was less by not even $1,000. So it was, yeah, by $800. So because if you see, the average got 100%, so they were still getting what they were asking, and the average was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was 1,736 square feet, where this average was 1,820. So again, it shows you the prices have gone up by $80,000, let's just say, on the average in 1 year. So this is what I'm saying. This is why it's important. And then you can even go back to 2022. You could go back to 2020. You can go back to 2019. You can go back to whenever. This is something that I love to use, especially when someone tells me, I was going to buy in 2015, but I thought this, and that. And then I show them how much money they lost for not taking that plunge. And it's not to throw it in their face or anything like that. It's just to show them that the longer they wait, the more they're going to lose. And I do get calls and questions all the time. But Sonia, what happens if the market crashes? What happens if this and that? So that's another thing we have to have conversations about and be ready to talk about those things, because nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody can guarantee anything. All we can do is look at the numbers. And right now, if anyone's asking or saying, I'm waiting for this to happen, there's still buyers out there buying. So let me tell you something. One of my agents yesterday was going on a listing presentation. She's like, Sonia, I need your help. What am I going to do? And I told her, you know what, rates have gone up, and I'm in the market every day. And I can tell you that I see it slowing down a little bit. I know people think that's crazy because it's not, but it actually is, because of rates. Now, if your home is in mint condition, it's going to sell. No doubt. It's going to sell right away, because they don't want to spend more than they have to, because now they're paying top dollar. They're paying more for their, for their rate. So they don't want to have to get a house that they still need to do work in. So that's number one. Number two, if it's not in the mint condition, then it needs to be priced to sell. It needs to be realistically priced to sell based on its condition. So I have seen people out there sending offers saying, oh, do this and do that. It's not happening. We're not in that market. But what I am saying is, if it is a nice house, you are definitely seeing multiple offers. But it's nothing crazy. It's nothing where there's a bidding war and everybody's doing this and that. No, it's not that. It's you showing up, your offers looking mint and clean, and you showing up as a professional. You're going to get chosen just for that, and not for anything else, because we want to work with people who know what the heck they're doing. So that's another thing to think about, making sure that you are, submitting clean offers. And so anyways, going back to this agent, I told her, before you go out there, you want to know what kind of buyers are buying in this area. How do you find out who's buying in your area? Well, you can go and I'll show you this. Like, let's just say, for instance, you go search detail, closed, let's just say the last, 6 months, that's fine. And if I go to Ranch Cucamonga, if you go here, results, if you click on, if I go to the map, obviously let's just say they're gonna buy in this Brentwood area. So if I go here, I wanna know who's buying in this area. So I'm gonna hit results. And if you click on each one of them, you're gonna go down here where it closes and it's gonna show you this person was conventional financing. And this helps you to know, look, this person is cash. Who is buying in this area? What do you have to be ready for? So that way they understand, you're talking to your clients and you're telling them what to expect. Look, another cash. And the one that we did yesterday, it was in Ranch Cucamonga, and I want to tell you there was probably about 80% cash. So there was a lot of cash that's there. So what does that mean? Rates don't affect cash buyers, right? So that's not going to be a question. But this is a way for you to show up, for you to show them, or let's just say it ends up being in an area where there's primary FHA and they don't want to they don't want to do certain repairs. They're telling you we're going to sell it as is, or whatever the case is. This is the conversations you're going to show them. Well, most of the buyers that are coming here are FHA. So what does that mean? That means that there's going to be certain things that are going to be needed unless you want to eliminate that buyer pool altogether, which could, bring in less offers, could bring in less money. So again, all of this helps you when you go to your appointments, so that way they understand. And again, these are things they can't go really on Zillow and search, or they're not going to have this information. Remember, there's a lot of stuff they can search. So if they find that you give them more than what they can search, that's when they feel there's value. So make sure that you're doing all of that and not waiting to the last minute, to do your work. The other
You wanted me to do one in 40 minutes.
the other thing I wanted to show you guys was how to do another, let's do another search. Let's just say I want to compare. So you could go here to stats if you wanted to. I don't know if you guys are familiar with using stats. Stats is a great tool. It's up here on the top menu. And if you go here, you can customize it, or you could use any of the presets. I personally love to use the presets. I like to look at the number of active listings in the last 6 months. And here is where you're going to put residential, the city. Let's go to Ontario again. So here I'm in Ontario. You can add more stuff if you want, like I said, to fine tune it, or you could just leave it as residential. You can put single family here, and let's take a look and see what that looks like. So here you could use the chart, or you could use the data, whichever is more appealing to your eyes, or you could make your own graph in Canva, your choice. But it just shows you in December, there was 116. January, there was 133, February, 125. So what is it showing us? There's less and less and less inventory. So we need more inventory. That's what that's showing us as of right now. We'll see, because we don't know what May's going to look like. I guess there's already 118. If that's right in May, wow, we're already up there. So it looks like there'll definitely be more. But that's another way to have this type of data. These are great things to print out as well. You can print these out for your open house. You can create a book, a property profile book that people cannot take, but they can look at it if they have more questions or if they're more interested. You can print a couple of them, leave them there, and they're for them, to take a look at, and to give them some information about the area, maybe community information as well. But it gives them more information other than price, because what's a buyer's, number one question when they're coming in? Pay attention to that. Are they firm on their price? Is it priced right? Why? Because every agent prices differently. You have agents who price, based on market value. You have others that overprice. You have some that underprice. Every, price, every listing the price that's put on there is a marketing tool only. Don't look at it as that's the true value, because until, their agent, you or whoever it is, provides the information to them, that's going to determine what the value is. And again, the value could be more to one buyer than to another. I have a client right now who's looking in Upland and wants a specific part of Upland because of the property's characteristics, because it's history, because of, it has a 100-year-old stove that has never been replaced and it works beautifully. Like, they're looking for that. So obviously you're not going to compare that to a home, even though the square footage is the same size as, 3 others that sold, but you're not going to compare that the same to another home that has equal square footage. There's other factors that are put into it. So you always want to keep those in mind too. So that's why I said, when you do a market update, just know it is just a general overview, just to kind of guide you to see where the market's going, where it's headed, any data that you can pull from it. So just try to study your city, try to study where you live. If you don't have any buyers right now that you're working with, or what area do you want to work in, and become an expert in that area. Know everything that's coming coming on the market, what is going pending, what's being canceled or expired or whatever. Set yourself up on a search in the MLS and make you the prospect. That way you don't have to search that every day, but every time there's activity in that area, you're going to get notified and you can take a look and see what's happening in your area. So I wanted, to share that with you guys. Does anyone have any other questions regarding the market updates?
This is great, great information, Sonia. I think
Oh,
you're
thank you,
so
Ruth.
right. Yeah, you're so right. I was in an open house 2 weeks ago. The price point there was 1.2 million. And there was most of the people that were coming came with their agent. And one of the couples started asking about this. And I did have some comparables. And just like you said, not for them to take. So it did help. He was asking the questions, right? But the agent's looking at me like, I don't know, I don't know.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying you don't want to be that agent. You don't want to be the I don't know agent.
Yeah, I felt
So,
bad for him. And I was like, well, let me show you right here, And I had explained to him, this is what it is. He was also asking about taxes and in the surrounding areas as well. So we were talking about that. So this is so important, but I really like that other nugget that you showed. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really well, where you could see who are the people that are purchasing. That I did not know to share. That's such a great point. So thank you. I'm taking great notes. Thank
oh,
you.
good. Thank you. Thank you for being on. Yeah. So I can't, like I said, to me, a lot of people always ask, what's important. And it's just important to show up ready. And a client's going to know if you're ready and if you're not. So, and then like how Ruth mentioned in regards to the open houses, you want the people to stick around longer. The longer they're there, the more you get to build that relationship with them. So that's why it's important to have, definitely good things for them to, when they start asking you questions, hey, what about this? What about that? And then you can just simply get the book, start showing them. And then obviously right now there's multiple people at open houses. So you could just tell them, here, I'm going to leave this with you. Go ahead and take a look at it. It has a lot of information. I'll be right back. And so then, like I said, you come back and now they're going to probably have more questions for you and they're going to be impressed. They're going to say, wow, they have a lot of information, and they're going to appreciate it. So that's why I like to see you guys shine. I want to see us as a profession. This is, like I said, we're not tour guides, and I can't stress that enough because I have so many people that just think like we're not Uber, we're not an Uber driver. We have so much more value to bring, especially right now with all the changes happening. I don't know, like I said, today, I know yesterday I was talking to Carrie and she mentioned to me, I know she was on the call. I don't know if she got off, but she had mentioned to me in regards to now Zillow is going to do a 7-day tour. And I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but what that's doing is buyers don't want to commit to a buyer broker agreement, for a long time because they don't even know you. And I get that, because it's like a relationship. How do I know I want to commit with you? Let me date you first, right? Before, anything happens. So what they're doing is they're going to make them sign a 7-day commitment only. And if they, if they agree to move forward, then at that time they have to sign, a longer, buyer broker agreement. So that's going to be super interesting. But I do think it's kind of is a great idea because especially for someone who doesn't want a long commitment, you got to show your value. So if you say, hey, this is what my value proposition is, I'll sign up with you for 7-10 days or whatever it is. I'll show you a few homes. If we mesh, and if we are made for a good fit for one another, because I'll be honest, not every buyer is a good fit for everyone. There's just some people that there's personalities that don't mesh. And actually that happened between Ruth and I had a client, they didn't like me. Yeah, me. Can you believe it? They didn't like me. So I asked Ruth, hey, will you take them? Because they don't like me. And it's okay. That's going to happen. And they loved Ruth. She got them in the home. They closed the deal. So it's going to happen and it's okay. But again, teaming up with other agents as well and maybe, connecting. So that way, if that does happen, you can refer them, to someone and make sure they're in good hands. They'll appreciate that. So if there's any other questions or anything else that you guys would like to see, I see Maria Bashara says, can you show us how to get to that chart again? Is this the chart you're talking about, Maria? Did she leave? Is she here? Oh no, she's here. I don't know, maybe she's busy. Well,
She
Yes,
did
that's the
reply,
chart, yes.
this chart, okay, so you go here to stats on the top. I keep going to agent roster, but stats. So you click that. And then here on the side to the left is different. There's presets. So you can select any of these or you can always customize it too. So if you notice, I created a couple myself that I use. You can do that as well. So that way you can determine, like I said, whatever information you want to give to your, to your client or to, the area or whatever you're trying to study. Like I said, I like to go back. Sometimes I'll do this, the active listings, not even the past 6 months. Sometimes I'll go, to the last year. I want to look at how things were in, 2020, or sometimes I'll do a lot of pre-pandemic. So I'll be at 2018, 2019, looking at those stats because a lot of people are saying, oh, the market's like this. But then I'm like, no, 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 no. If you look at it, the market's actually like this. So this is just going to be able to show you that we are in a normal market. We're not, because people are like, oh, the houses are on the market longer, and it's like, it not really, because a lot of times by the time agents, and I'm sure you guys are experiencing this too, agents don't reply as fast as we'd like them to. So obviously, if they're not replying to you, they're probably not replying to a lot of people. So what happens is these homes are sitting on the market probably for the first 7 to 10 days, which they could have probably been off the market because a lot of them would have offers right away, but these agents are sitting on it, and maybe sometimes the seller wants them to sit on it too. But a lot of times there are great offers and they still continue to sit on it. So I've seen that. So sometimes the days on the market, I don't really, unless it's like 45 days compared to it was 10 at one time, then yeah, that's a significant difference. But I haven't really seen it change that drastically yet, not yet anyways. So, but I am seeing that prices are definitely stable. I'm not seeing a decline in prices at all. Like I said, if you see a house that sold really cheap, it's usually because of the condition. The condition has everything to do with a price. That's when, usually people want to, obviously a better deal because they have to come in and do repairs. So, yeah, so does anyone have any questions or would like to see anything else? Everybody's good to go? You can do your market updates, create a template in Canva. We can
Right there, Sonia, where would you print that from where you are right there?
print this. So if you go here, let's see, average 6 months, residential, single family, Ontario. What I usually do, and I can show you, what I typically do is you go here to generate. You see how there's a print here? Right here?
Yeah,
So you could print it, you could email it if you want, but a lot of times what I'll do is I usually like this unless I'm going to do my own graph like in Canva. But if I'm in a hurry and I just want to do this, I'll go here to
okay.
do, the screenshot. You know how if you have a Mac, I don't know if you can
Yeah.
do this with the other one, but I'll go here. And then all I'll do is put it into 'cause now it's a photo, right? So then tell me if you guys can still see my screen, because sometimes when I go from something to something, it won't show anymore.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So okay, so wait, hold on. It's hi. Just kidding. Okay, let's see. Hold on. I have to reshare it because it's not on the right screen. Okay, so here we go, share. So now I'm in Canva. So like, let's just say I wanted to do, here's my market update, right? Can you guys see this, my market update?
Yeah, this is exactly what I was like, wait, so how do we print it or how do we
Yeah, so
put it
what you can
together?
do is you can add it here. So if I just go here to uploads, and then I'm gonna upload it, my screenshot. And then here it is. So you can just move it in here. You know what I mean? You could make it, or you could, a lot of times it's too small. So that's
Yeah.
why what I do is I'll just put it here and I'll type it in while I'm,
Oh,
you
okay,
can
got it,
change
got it.
this up to make it, to make it yours or whatever. But that's what I do.
Got it. Thank
That's how
you.
I do it. But one of our next ones we'll do, because I know Ruth, you've been asking about Canva. I can show you guys how to make these templates for your market updates. I used to do numbers all the time, but now I talk a lot more than numbers. Just because I felt like I wanted to bring value. My goal this year is to get as many listings as possible. That's where my eye is, that's where my focus is. So I've been really, really talking to sellers, and I have found that it is working. So what I can tell you guys is really think about what you want, what kind of business you want to come your way, and focus on that, and just speak and speak and speak until you're blue in the face. So that's honestly the best advice that I can give you. So so if anyone, like I said, has any other questions, if you guys have open houses this weekend, make sure you guys, maybe use some of these tools and see how you feel and how you show up. A lot of times when you're at an open house and you don't know much, you kind of feel intimidated. You're like, oh, you want to step back a little bit. But I tell you, if you go in and you're confident and you're ready, you're going to be a little bit more aggressive and you're going to get more out of it. And you're going to feel great about yourself too, because you're going to feel like, wow, I was able to provide some value to this person, and you're going to see the energy shift, and you're going to see, just the conversations are a little bit different as well, because you're ready to go. And if you're doing open houses for anybody else, like any other agent, always make sure to talk to that listing agent so you get information on the property. So that way, why are they selling, or what's the uniqueness of the house? Because nobody knows like the seller, obviously. And if the listing agent got that information, they should be passing that on to you. So that way, you can provide that value to the buyers. And always pay attention, because there could be cameras inside and outside of the house. I've been hearing that quite a bit. A couple, potential sellers have said, they've overheard conversations they wish they wouldn't have, because people aren't mindful that they're, you're just being recorded. So, but yeah, like I said, if anyone doesn't have any other questions, let me know. If not, I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Thank you, Sonia. Love it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.